And there's Miss Robin sitting on her eggs. So here's the story. I took her, she was sitting on one egg on the bars of the cage. And I took it out because I knew by then it must be cracked. And sometimes you can save a cracked egg by putting a little clear nail polish on the crack. So I put the box in place. I covered it all up with grass so it wouldn't look too strange. Then I took the egg and held it over here by this light to see if it was cracked and dropped it, and it broke. And I'm like, oh no! I just hate it when I do stuff like that. It just sears my soul. But anyway, so... oh, and by the way, her cock has decided, okay, that really is a nest, so he's not trying to break eggs anymore. And he takes good care of her. But, so I was like, well, she has to have an egg there or she's not going to sit there. And she'll probably end up moving the nest to some other part. And it's, you know, I don't want her to move it because the cock has accepted this as a nest, whereas when she puts him in the back of the cage, he doesn't, and he breaks the eggs. And it dawned on me, oh, you know, one of my cockatiels dropped an egg in the bottom of the cage the other day, and I put it on the windowsill. And I went over there, and sure enough, there it was. So I warmed it up in my hands and stuck it in there, and she just took right to it, even though it's twice the size that it should be. Oh, look at these two. Look, finally, some Levin. That's Clement and Messina. I had to take him out for 4 days and leave her alone, and then put him back in again with a nest box, and now she's decided he's kind of cute. Okay, but anyway, so she's in there, and she laid her own third egg today. So the first egg was destroyed by her cock because she laid it in the back corner of the cage, and he's like, no, that's not our egg. And the second egg was destroyed by me, and now she's on a third egg, and from now on they should be fine because they're in a wooden box that has like 1 inch sides on it, so they can't roll down and get stuck in the bars or anything. So, and I don't know what I'm going to do if there's a baby in that cockatiel egg, but we'll worry about that when it happens. This I took out. I had a hen in here, Celine, who just wasn't doing anything. She was underweight and not gaining weight and just doing crazy girl. And I was like, you know what? This is not a good hen for Asher. So I pulled her and put this girl in here. This is Bear Grylls' girl. She's actually Robin's sister. A very, very big hen. She does not have Robin's head, so she's not as high value as her sister, but Asher has all the head that everybody could ever want. So, and she's, you know, she's heavy, and she's ready to go, her shear's the right color, and she's loving on Asher, so that's good. This hen down here, they like each other, but she's just skinny, and I don't like it. So I'm going to do a health check on her, which I'll tell you about in a minute. This girl is spending all her time in the box. She's going to drop an egg any minute now. I just know it. This is Daintree and Callahan. She thinks she's hidden. And we got our first egg out of Cole and Cerulean. She's in there sitting on it immediately. So this is my system. I use blue painter's tape on the back of the nest boxes to help me keep track of what happens next. There's a series of events that has to happen. The first egg has to be laid so I can figure a hatch date and put the hatch date on there, and that stays for quite a long while. Then the next thing that happens is 6 days after the first egg is laid, I do a fertility check. And then once I find fertility, I pull this piece of tape off and I put a cull date up there because 4 or 5 days before the eggs are due to start hatching, I cull the embryos, see if I can put them in anybody else's nest or if I can't freeze them. And then it comes down to the hatch date. Then once they all hatch, the band date gets put up there because I band them when they're 8 days old-ish. And so each time I take off a piece of tape, I have another thing that I have to put on there. And I always have a date on it because it tells me I don't have to go flipping through files or cards or anything like that. I can just look at the box and go, oh, it's Tuesday. Okay, this is what I got to do. And then replace it with another one immediately. So that's all good. Surprise, surprise. Jifion and Dorothy laid their first egg today. I'm very, very excited. And these guys have 2 eggs in there. Their fertility check is on Sunday, so they're the first fertility check coming up. This little girl had me worried that maybe she didn't like him. Her mother was a pain in the hiney to get her to breed, but Zephyr here is a high-ranking cock. He's aggressive, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to let her not accept him. And I was right. They're definitely moving in the right direction. So, and her sear is turning, and she's in good health. So she just had to do her crazy girl for a while. So I used to have Goblin and Glide up here, and Glide was one of those hens that was underweight. And you know, I give them treats on white paper plates, and it serves 2 different purposes. One is to keep their teeth nice and clean on the bottom of their cage, and 2 is the next day when I come out and take this paper plate, it has poop all over it, and I can see it gives me a good indication of what everybody's health is like. So, although this little hen was looking really good with Goblin up there, and they were lovey-dovey, and she was getting an egg bump and everything, I pulled out the paper plate yesterday, and there was whole seed in a poop. In other words, she was sick and not digesting food well. And the reason she was thriving is because Goblin was literally feeding her all day long. So I put them in there, and she was underweight, and Goblin had good weight on, nice hefty bird. And here we were like 5 days later. Goblin had been feeding her so much food that he was disappearing. And she was looking better than she ever had been. But they've been treated for the intestinal yeast, which is what causes them to poop whole seeds. And if she's not over it yet, she's just not ever going to get over it. It's one of those illnesses where if you catch it in time, it's very treatable. But if they've got it for a really long time, it's kind of entrenched in their bodies, and they don't ever get over it. So I had to put that hen down. It's also contagious. And put Goblin back over in the coal cage. And this guy up here, he is a very, very tall bird, but he was bred in the spring when everybody was sick, and he was one of the last birds to get treatment because he had the youngest babies. His hen was so sick that I had to pull her early, and he raised the babies from 2 weeks onward on his own, and he got them through it. But man, there was some days where I was like, oh, they're both gonna die. You know, it was bad. But he got his medication, and he looks a lot better, but he's still kind of skinny. And since I found the one hen that's pooping seed, now I'm paranoid that other birds are going to be doing the same thing. So I pulled him, and I put him in here with a bunch of white paper towels so I can see what his poop looks like. And I think I see some up there. They poop every 15 minutes, so it shouldn't take long. Let's go look and see what that poop looks like. So what we're looking for is a blackish green poop pile, a little round pile with a white dot on it. Things that would indicate illness would be if it's light green, if there's no white dot, instead the white is mixed in with the rest of it, or if there's any seeds in it. So let's take a look and see what we got. Oh, look at those. Perfect. I don't know if you can see that, but they are absolutely, you can just see the bars. Come on, focus on the poo. It's not helping. Maybe that. There we go. You see the perfect little poos with the white dot on the top? There is nothing wrong with this bird. He's just giving all his weight away because he's feeding his hen out in the cage. So I'm going to take him and put him right back out. This is, he has a name, I just forgot what it was. And my fosters are all kicking tires. Look at my hens, all have these well-developed brown sears, and I'm wondering if maybe they're past and they're going to have to circle around their cycle again. But they're definitely, all the nest boxes are full of grass. The white hen here is probably the dominant pair with her big yellow male up there. And her first box was this one when she had a white male, and then she kicked that male to the curb and ended up moving into that box. But she seems to be wanting to move back into this one this time, which used to be that little yellow hen's box. So now the yellow hen's looking over there. So they're doing their usual drama, but they'll get to it, I'm very certain. So, and somebody already got bloodied. There's a little bit of blood on the perch. Somebody got their toe bit, but it's not terrible. Oh, see that hen's vent? That means she's been breeding. So, and the little green girl is usually that box over there. But I don't know what she's doing. So, we'll see. But they'll get it together, I'm sure. So, we have, oh look, she's sitting over there by the nest box, just looking in. Hi. So anyway, progress is being made. We got eggs. So I'm not going to show you any eggs right now because I like to leave their eggs alone for a while. If every time you open the nest box, you risk startling the hen and having her kick her own eggs around, and then they get cracked. So I interfere with their eggs as little as possible. Charlie went in the nest with his girl. Look at that. So I interfere with the eggs as little as possible. So one of the reasons I do this is, okay, I found the first egg. I am not going to open this box again until 6 days later when I take it down off of the cage to take it inside and candle the eggs. So, because the less I handle them, the less possibility I'm going to break them, like I did with poor Robin's second egg there. Okay, so that is the update. See you next time.